Don't wait till the battle's over. Don't wait till the struggle ends. Shout now, shout now, right now, shout now, shout now. Don't wait till you make it.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the PHILLIP Show. I am super excited that you're here today. Listen, grab your coffee, and we're about to talk about some money. This is pumpkin coffee. It's in the midst of pumpkin season. It's fall. That's just what we're doing in our cup today. If you don't like pumpkins, don't try this at home, folks. All right, so money. How important is money to you? And more importantly, how are you using money? That's what we're going to talk about today. Is the way you're using money helpful? Is it an emotional spend? Are you using it in a healthy way? Patrice Bobo-Miles is a prosperity strategist and mentor and provides the support and education necessary to begin a life of greater prosperity by guiding clients to the cornerstone of generational wealth building. With her premier online course, CommonCent Money Matters, she is helping people identify their money trauma. Listen, there's such a thing called money trauma, and we're going to talk about it. She is helping people identify their money trauma by recognizing emotional spending and savings habits and redefining relationships with money. So grab something to take notes, take down all its information, and learn about her course and what she's doing to not only address your money, but to address you and get to the root of the emotions behind the why of your spending. Please help me welcome to the show prosperity strategist and mentor, Patrice Bobo-Miles. Patrice, thank you so much for being here today. You are in the money business. I know that you have extensive history and longevity in the real estate market, but you've found that sometimes money can be a problem.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can. And you know, I've been in the was a mortgage loan originator, and I've done that at this point in time now for 24 years. So that means that I help people buy houses. I'm your money lady. So people come to me to get the financing to purchase their homes. And in that span of time, I've really got an opportunity to see how people mismanage their money, their credit, and their finances. And how that has affected their ability to do things like purchase a home or purchase a car, or I don't know, put away money for retirement and savings. So yeah, it's given me a unique window into that.
Yeah. And not only that, one of the things that's really awesome about you being a coach and a strategist and a prosperity mentor is that you use personal stories and your personal journey to help people understand that they're not alone, that you're not talking about something that they don't know. What was your personal journey with money that kind of got you thinking, hey, my journey might help someone?
You know, I have been fortunate again to do what I've done for 24 years. And the first 10 years that I was in the business, it was great. Business was good. By my second year originating mortgage loans, I was at a six-figure income. I was at a healthy six-figure income. I'm married. I've been married to the same man for 33 years. We've got two great kids. But we got to a point where I was substantially out earning him because I had gone into sales. I was selling money, right? I was selling money to help people buy houses. Well, you know, the market crashed 2007, 2008. And that six-figure income all of a sudden was gone. It was just gone. Financial rug just pulled right out from underneath me. And I can tell you that I truly do not believe that we were living outside of our means because we were very comfortable. We had money set aside for savings. We had money in retirement. We had college funds for the kids. But when you lose a six-figure income, you just don't replace it overnight, right?
Yeah.
And the thing that happened, at least in my situation, was that I was not managing credit card debt well. And I was the money manager in our house. So of course, when that happened, it was just a spiral effect of depression, right? And embarrassment, shame, there was just this whole plethora of, oh my gosh, I have totally let my family down.
Mm.
I lost over $500,000 in the stock market.
Wow.
As well, just because the stocks I had plummeted. So I didn't diversify those investments as well as I should have. And like I said, the credit card debt was crippling.
Yeah.
And going through that period of time, we almost lost our house to foreclosure. So it was a whole lot of stuff to navigate. You know, I didn't have to file for bankruptcy. Thank the good Lord we didn't lose our house. And I will tell you today that that is truly one of the miracles that I think that I have ever seen happen in my lifetime, that I will die to this day saying that. So when you're dealing with people and their money, it's very personal. It's very confidential. But I can tell you, I've already walked in your shoes. I am a student of experience in life. And so I understand. I mean, I understand what it is to be in a position that you feel like you just don't know where to go or what to do.
I want to talk about the trauma part, because we're going to get to your course and what it offers and what the magnitude of the resource that it brings. But we hear a lot about trauma. Why is money trauma so easily overlooked?
Number one, it's not talked about. You know, I can say that growing up in my household, money wasn't never anything that we discussed. We didn't discuss savings. You know, we didn't discuss how do you balance a checkbook. We didn't talk about those things. And I venture to say, without having like statistical data, that it's just not discussed. And so you grow up and you do what your parents did. So if you grew up in a place where you heard things like, you know, money doesn't grow on trees, or I'm not spending my hard-earned money on that. Or, oh, you know, it's just money. We can give to this charity, and we can give to that charity, and we can do this. But what you're doing is you're setting in place some really bad habits. So let's say you grew up and you didn't grow up with a whole lot of financial needs. So maybe you didn't know where your next meal was coming from, or the idea of buying school clothes just was not an option. And you grow up and get to a place where maybe you're on your own and there's a little bit of a safety net there, you feel financially. And so a lot of people will find themselves spending from a place of scarcity. But where does that scarcity come from? Right? It comes from those things that we experienced as children or saw as children. And that in itself, it's a scarcity mindset. But it's also that type of trauma that has us spending and spending and spending to fill a void that maybe we didn't realize was there.
What would in your experience, you know, because I know a lot of people are going to be out there and they're wondering, well, she ain't talking about me. Well, that's not me. Well, I spend this way. In your experience, what is a key indicator of saying it's not just your spending, but there's something about what you're doing that perhaps could be a problem?
How does it work? You've got those people that make, let's say you bring home $2,000 every 2 weeks, and 5 days into getting paid, all of a sudden you don't have any money.
Look, you're not going to tell my business on my own show. That's what you're not going to do.
Well, you know, you make $2,500, so let's be really clear. But that money's gone. And where did it go? And you're like, I don't make enough money. I don't make money. I don't have the money to make ends meet. So that's one indicator, because you're not managing your money well. And I hear a lot of people say things like, well, you know, if I just made more money, right? Or I've heard people say things like, well, you know, I just had to have that Coach bag. I just had to have those shoes. How about the new iPhone comes out and you got to have the 12, 13, 14, 15, or if you're a Samsung user, which some people are, you know, you're going to want that new Samsung.
I'm going to raise my hand and say I'm some people.
Yeah, right.
Just for you all back at home and out in the interweb. Patrice and I were speaking a little while ago, and she has a really growing community on Clubhouse. But guess who couldn't make it to the Clubhouse? Me. Guess why? Android. You know, the world has fixed that problem, but I just wanted to put that little plug in there of some commonality.
Yes, you're now welcome to come join the world of Clubhouse, because Android users are now welcome.
And we thank you.
You're so welcome.
So when it comes to, it's interesting, but let's shift to your course, because your course, CommonCent Money Matters, it really dives into some of the questions that I'm asking. Tell me, what is CommonCent Money Matters, and why would somebody take this course?
You know, CommonCent Money Matters, we do a lot of things through this course. We really sit down and we do a lot of introspective work. There is things you have to write. There are things you have to track. And then we're going to all get together in a Zoom call and we're going to break it all down. But the importance of it is recognizing that your money is a tool, right? Money is a tool. Money is not an emotion. And so what you see frequently is that people are spending their money emotionally. Let's go back to having to have that Coach bag, right?
Yeah.
Or, hey, maybe somebody's like, I got the money and I am buying them red bottoms, right? That's an emotional choice. And the kind of money that you're spending on those things, if you're not putting aside money for short-term financial goals, if you're not putting aside money for mid-term financial goals, if you're not putting aside money for long-term retirement goals, if you're not putting aside money to pay down your credit card debt, pay off your credit card debt, or manage that debt well, this is a course that you need to be involved in.
Because one of the things that a lot of people, they say, that's not why I'm spending it. And I love the way that you're putting it, because you're putting a why behind the spending. You're not saying, don't buy the Louboutin shoes. You're not saying, don't buy the Coach bag. Don't spend money on the trip. It's almost, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's understanding why you're doing it. Can you afford to do it? Or is this an emotional purchase would that be based on their budget?
Some people spend emotionally totally outside of their budget. Right. And here comes the credit card debt that we're going to rack up. Because what's the beauty of credit cards? You can spend money that you don't have. But then you're going to pay it back with whatever the interest is that's attached to that.
And again, I just want to steer us away from our personal business.
But you find people who, when you are an emotional spender, you have racked up some credit card debt because you're not buying things necessarily that you need. And I don't care how often you justify having to upgrade your phone, because the 12 and the 13 do about the same thing, right?
Right.
I don't care how you're justifying the need to go out and buy the red bottoms, or to go out and buy whatever the new fall color is for whatever the handbag, Coach, Michael Kors, Louis Vuitton, whatever it is, right? Yeah. You're justifying the purchase as a need, but is it something you really need? Does it provide you shelter? Does it provide you food? Is it truly clothing as opposed to an accessory? So, being able to separate your emotions from how you spend really kind of helps to set that foundation. And don't get me wrong, we work to earn money, and we there's a certain amount of, we really deserve to enjoy the fruits of our labor. And so there's nothing wrong with enjoying the fruits of your labor, but you've got to make sure that you're also laying the foundation for financial security, financial stability. And you want to make sure that you're preparing for retirement, because, at my age, I'm looking to retire sooner rather than later. So there are some things that I'm doing now that I wish I had done 10 years ago. So, in being able to kind of separate the emotion and setting money up as the tool that it is, because at the end of the day, you want your money to work for you. You don't want to be working for your money all the time. Yeah. And here we go. I got my $2,000 5 days in, and I got another 12 days to payday. You're working for your money. You're not making your money work for you.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you said that. One of the things, and I touched on it a little bit before, because I try and ask questions that people might want to ask. You know, like they're out there, like, but what about this? And I want to be clear, and I want you to help me with my clarity. It's not bad to spend money. It's bad if you don't know why you're spending money, and it's not part of a plan that you have.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You got it. You got to have a plan for your money. Money's a relationship, like a friendship is a relationship, like a marriage is a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And that relationship, the other person or partner of that relationship, there's a level of respect that they need to have. And it's important to respect what money can bring to the table. And let me be really clear, money does not buy you happiness. You can make $100 a year, or you can make $100,000 a year. And the difference is that money gives you choices.
Mm-hmm.
That's what money can do for you. Money opens up options for you. And so when you're overspending, you're overutilizing your credit card debt, you're not saving effectively, your money just is not in a position that it can work for you because you're not giving it the opportunity to breathe and grow.
As a coach, you've gone from not having this particular mindset or not employing it the way that you're employing it. I want you to talk a little bit about, I have all this money, and you touched on it. I have all this money, yet I'm still out of money. You know, so for the people who have a lot of money, but they find that they're still out of money, how specific is this course about really realizing, you know, this is what you have, this is what you should do, and we also have to talk about the why of your emotions.
With this course, we really sit in your money.
We sit in your money.
We sit in your money. I mean,
Yeah.
we're tracking what you spend.
Mm-hmm.
We're tracking why you spend it. We're asking for justifications for things that you probably wouldn't question if no one said, hey, why are you doing this? Because again, if you feel like you have the money, you want to spend the money. But if you're spending all of your money, what's going to happen down in the future? Because there's no guarantee Social Security is going to be here, right?
No.
And what's happening with 401ks? They are subject to what's happening in the market at any given point in time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to have a lot of different systems in place to manage that money. And you know, Philip, overspending can be likened to an addiction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's an addiction of choice. You will have people who their addiction of choice is drugs. Their addiction of choice is alcohol. Their addiction of choice is food.
Yeah.
And then there are those of us, because I definitely am a recovering credit card addict, and you've heard me say that. The addiction of choice is money.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really, it's sitting in it, seeing it, because sometimes when you see it in black and white, you're like, I didn't realize how much money I have.
Yeah.
Then you don't realize how much money I'm throwing out the window.
And that's deep. And I like that you likened it to addiction, because I don't think that a lot of people, they don't look at it that way. Mm-mm. They really don't look at it that way. It's kind of a them thing, not a me thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I want to play a little game. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So this game is called Coach Me Now, Patrice.
Okay, go.
All right. So we may have touched on some of these questions, but these are some questions that I think are going to be great. Okay. Let me get in character. Okay. So what's the big deal? My spending never hurt anybody.
Your spending may not have hurt anybody, but is it hurting you? Do you have money set aside for savings? Do you have an emergency fund put aside? Are you riddled with credit card debt and you don't seem to know how to get out from underneath that debt? Do you have savings? Do you have investments? Have you started to plan for Oh, I don't know. When you actually get to be older and retirement is the thing that comes into play. And you're going to want to have a certain income at that point in time. So is your money working for you in those areas? Because if it's not, then maybe it is about you.
That's good. Okay, here's another one. I mean, I might have a problem, but I don't need any help. I can stop whenever I want.
Well, I know there's a 12-step plan for people who are involved with Alcoholics Anonymous, and I know before they bottom out that a lot of them have probably said those same words before. It's an addiction. Overspending, because what you're doing, you spend that money. Retail therapy. There's the part, retail therapy. Oh, I'm not feeling like myself today. Let's go have a little retail therapy. And some people, you spend that money and you get that whole rush of endorphins and you get that high, and you want to kind of visit that and revisit that over and over again, right? Mm-hmm. It's an addiction.
That is very true. Okay, here's the last one. I hear what you're saying. I hear you, but I can do it myself. Why do I need a course?
Well, if you could do it yourself, you probably would have already started to put the systems in place. Sometimes it is helpful that you are accountable to somebody until you really can get a grip and get to a place of discipline and strategies, because the strategies are where you're going to find your most success. And sometimes you need somebody to help you get there.
I'm all about strategies. Those are excellent. After you put your strategies, the strategies that you learned over the years, and you put them into play before you even said, I want to do a course about this. Because there has to be experience and there has to be knowledge before you say, I'm going to present it to somebody. What did you start to notice about not just your life, but your emotional position from day to day once you started implementing these strategies and these balances that you're doing, these checks and balances with emotions versus money?
I gotta say that as I've seen things improve, as I've seen investments grow, as I've seen opportunities open themselves to me, because my husband and I were in a position to move forward with those things, it's kind of a relief. There's just this whole level of stress that's not there, because I know that we have the systems in place and we're walking in the direction we need to walk in to continue to, number one, grow what we want to grow for our retirement. But we have money to travel. I have money to shop. The credit card debt, yes, I still have credit card debt, but everything is paid, and it's paid off timely. I'm not racking up fees and finance charges and all of the things that go with that. So it's just a sense of, I know that there's a way out of the woods, and I'm taking the steps to get out of the woods. And when you get past the jungle and you can look behind you and just see the forest and look in front of you and kind of see the horizon, it's a phenomenal feeling. It's just a phenomenal feeling.
I'm sure there's a freedom there.
There is.
There's a freedom, and I always, because I'm a strategist as well. I am very much strategy driven, and I think there's so much freedom in understanding the what to make sure that my why is on target. How do I get from point A to point B? Because the why is going to help with that. Where do I want to go? What is frustrating me today? And how do I move past it? So for somebody who's watching now and they're thinking, I think I want to take the course. I don't know if I need it. I don't know if I want it. What would you say to them?
If you think that you need to take the course, you need to take the course. If you're questioning whether or not you are dealing with some type of money trauma, which now has you in a position that you are not handling your finances well, then you need to take the course. If you're in a place that you feel stuck, are you afraid to go to your mailbox and get your bills? Are you afraid to open them? Are you making your payments on time? And if any of those resonate on one level where you're like, ooh, I don't like to go to the mailbox, or, I know it's only a $25 a month payment, but I couldn't pay it this month on time. Then this is a course you need to visit.
Wow. And that's good. So tell us where we can find your course.
Well, I do have a website. I know you had it up earlier. And so there's a registration link right there in my website. And you can go and kind of just check out a little bit more about what the course is about in itself. And there's a link to register right there on my website. You can always follow me on Instagram. I have a link in my bio in Instagram where you can register as well. And, I've got a lot of stuff just kind of going in and out on Facebook. So I post the link on Facebook frequently as well.
Listen, this lady is not a game. She is busy. Patrice, I want to know one last thing before we let the people go, because I just want to know, why are you so passionate to share this information with other people?
I have to tell you that this course grew out of a journey that I had internally. I had a lot of growing to do. And when I got to a place that I felt like I was operating in my authentic self, like who Patrice is and who Patrice wanted to present herself to as the world to, as opposed to who everybody thought she was, I recognized that the journey that I had traveled financially could help somebody else. And initially I went into this and I was thinking, how many women who look like me, maybe single moms, could use this to help propel them just to home ownership. And that was really where my thought started, because there are so many biases built into the home buying process for Black and brown people, and especially, single moms. And so that's really kind of where this started. And it was, how can my journey help somebody else? And from there, the course just kind of grew from there.
Wow. Well, it's my hope, and I'm sure it will, but it's my hope that people see not just the value, but they see the heart and the emotion of knowing that things can be better if we just strategize, if I have support, if I have somebody walking me through the process. Any process that we do, in my experience, that is worth moving forward always has to come with somebody walking beside you to get there, So it's so awesome that I'm sure this topic resonates with a lot of people. Money is a topic all the time. How to get more, how to use it, how to, financially be stable. And I love the perspective that you're bringing along with it. And how are you doing with this? Who are you? And why are you doing that? So I love the emotional concept of this, and I really appreciate your transparency, sharing with us your journey, and just saying, "Hey, I got you. Come on this course, and let's be better together."
Been there, done that.
and I'll make your T-shirt. You're good. You're good. Well, Patrice, thank you so much for being here today. I hope that you can come back.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be on the PHILLIP Show. I was thrilled when I saw you launch it, and I will come back anytime you have me.
Everybody, that was Patrice Bobo-Miles, the prosperity strategist, with her course, CommonCent Money Matters. Listen, anybody who is listening to this can look at their life and say, do I need to refocus on the why of my spending? Do I need to refocus on the strategy of my goals when it comes to finances? Whether you have $5 or whether you have 5 million, it doesn't discriminate. Our emotions go with us no matter what our bank account says. So if you are one of those people that says, you know what, I might need, let's stop right there, like she said. If you're even thinking about it, this is a really great course for you. So as usual, stay inspired and remember that you are the best you in the world. Another great shout out to our guest, and we will see you next time on The PHILLIP Show.
Don't